Guess which character I'm cosplaying? Hint, I will be asking for a toll. I know what you're thinking to yourself. Ducky, it's getting dim in that room. Don't you normally film during the day, man? Oh! Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Ducky Wucky, and it's Always Sunny superfan of multiple years. And on this channel I make rankings, reviews, and analyses. But today I want to talk to you about a lesser known facet of the It's Always Sunny canon. That being the Nightman Cometh live show, which had a small tour across the United States. What many consider the greatest episode of the entire series was created into a full-length stage event, jam-packed with new songs and content for us to enjoy. So with that said, I'm gonna let Future Ducky jump right into...
According to this absolutely bomb article that you should check out when you're done with this video, Don McCloskey, a musician friend of Rob Mack, was so in love with the episode that he offered to let the entire cast sing songs from The Nightman Cometh during his gig at the Troubadour. But there was an issue with how the event was billed. It was really intended to be a sing-along during another artist's concert, but the way that it was marketed made it seem like they were performing the whole darn show. So they just decided to roll with it, write another 30 minutes of extra material, and go. Show at the Troubadour was an insane success. As a result, the crew was contacted by Live Nation about doing a small tour.
Now that we have all that covered, I'm going to be specifically talking about the performance at the Troubadour, which is the only one I can find available online. I would like to give a big thanks to this person for uploading it. I'm normally not a proponent of bootlegs or illegal copies, but in this case there doesn't seem to be copies anywhere else, and I very much struggle to see Rob, Charlie, and Glenn having a problem with this. So this is going to be my one-time exception. Now let's jump right into the show. We start off with an inspired choice. So we all know how the episode ends with these scene direction like title cards. Well, for this show, in order to replicate that, they have it on an easel with cue cards and a fun musical interlude. You must know that the show is pretty much the exact same as the episode up until the actual performance of The Nightman Cometh begins. But there are still things of note in the beginning. For instance, Charlie doesn't walk out and do his little a cappella number like he does here.
Come one, come all to a beautiful show. It's gonna be awesome and some other stuff. Some other musical stuff.
Charlie instead comes out fully accompanied, and this little ditty has somehow become a full-fledged musical number. It's a great touch, it's very well orchestrated, and it's a great way to establish right off the bat, right away, what to expect. That the show is going to have some new materials, especially musical, while still giving the fans exactly what they want. Then they proceed to just act out the whole cold open together. Caitlin is the most similar to her in-episode performance. Charlie, I would say, is the second most committed because he is the lead of this episode. And the other performers also do a good job, and they're just having fun. Also, very funny thing about this beginning is the first time that Danny DeVito stands up, everyone goes berserk.
Are you gonna have an angle?
And not only that, but the way that Charlie announces the title genuinely rocks and like weirdly gives me chills a little bit.
What's it called?
Yeah. The Nightman Cometh!
Also, I'm so glad they chose to use the in-house band in order to play the theme song. Once again, inspired and shows that they weren't interested in cutting corners. Also, very nice to see Artemis getting the love she deserves. She's very underrated in the show, but here the audience just goes nuts for her.
Now you guys all know Artemis, right?
But yeah, even after the cold open, things go pretty much exactly as they are in the episode, except with more breaks for laughter. I saw a comment saying that this show showed them how terrible It's Always Sunny would be with a laugh track. And I would disagree, because the joy of live theater has nothing to do with the canned laughter of a laugh track. It is frankly beautiful to see such a communal fandom experience. Also, there is much more profanity, which I'm not crazy about as a Catholic, but theater in general has so much more leeway for swearing than almost any other visual medium. Also, Charlie's delivery in this scene in particular.
Now, did Dee write a musical and bring it to Charlie? No! Charlie wrote a musical and brought it to Dee and the gang! And the gang likes to screw Charlie over and make it about themselves, okay? Okay, so like, you know, I'll tell you what I could do. I could cut the song, okay, because I wrote it, all right? I could have Artemis do the song, okay, because you didn't write it.
No.
Or I could strap on a wig and do the song myself, so you tell me, Little Miss All That, what's it gonna be, song or no
in this scene is super well done. Meanwhile, Dennis kind of biffed his "I'm eating because I'm uncomfortable" line, in my opinion, forgetting the understated delivery.
I'm eating baby Snickers because you've made me very uncomfortable.
Also, did they have a paid partnership with Baby Snickers? Then, without a proper scene change, which makes sense, given it's in the exact same setting, there's some hastily written dialogue about like D taking a 30 as opposed to a 5, and then we jump right into
Troll Toll. Let's go over here.
Where do you want me?
Right here, bro. Troll Toll.
You gotta pay the troll toll to get into this boy's hole. You gotta pay the troll toll to get in.
Danny's giving it his all, and he laughs a little bit because the audience is singing, but he plays it off super well. Also, you know how Frank spits out his gum in the original episode? So they do that also on stage, but where does Charlie put the gum? I was watching and I was trying to track it and I couldn't figure it out. Could someone tell me where that gum went? I don't like that. There's also some extra dialogue in the part of the show where they're choreographing the scene of the Nightman becoming the boy. It kind of just feels like the actors forgot their lines and so sort of stumbled through some improv. Also, I'm gonna show it. Max Pounds freaking kills me, dude. Okay, so then after that, the waitress appears. And I stand corrected. Sorry, she is the most committed in the show. And I stand corrected once again. They did put in a decent new joke.
Check it out. This is crazy. I got a free ticket for you to see a musical that I wrote.
Wow, oh wow, a free ticket for applause that you wrote.
But then this scene suffers with some issues that we saw before, where it sort of just rambles on, but this wasn't too bad. Okay, so now a little over 15 minutes since the show started, we are finally getting to the play performance. Also, Gladys returns, but it's actually not the original actress. It's actually Danny DeVito's wife, aka the woman who plays Ruth Handler in the Barbie movie, and Charlie also kind of acknowledges this.
This is Gladys. All right, now I know she looks a lot like Rhea Perlman, but she's Gladys. Okay?
Then comes a very exciting development. Through dialogue, we find out that Mac is going to have a solo in the show, but he's adding an extra line, so it's like twofold excitement. There's also a weird plot line where Dennis eats too many baby Snickers and thus forgets his lines in the play, and him and Charlie yell at each other. But it is pretty funny that they're both clearly this close to laughing.
Frank will just feed you your lines and you'll be good.
Hey, do me a favor. Don't start the show.
I have to start the
Please
show.
don't start the show.
The people will leave. I don't know my lines. You gotta figure it out. You gotta figure it out.
So that's all the backstage portion. Now begins the show. Artemis gives an intro to the Nightman Cometh, which is an inspired choice and really in the context of the show explains what was happening while the gang was backstage waiting for the show to start. During this, an audience member tells Artemis to expose, let's say, a certain part of herself, and she very quickly, gracefully, and in a funny manner is like,
No. And welcome to tonight's production of The Nightman Cometh.
She handled it super well, but I'm really disappointed she just had to put up with that in the first place. And she also like jokingly gave the audience terrible fire safety advice. Then the show begins in a different place than it does in the original. And Dennis, of course, cannot remember his lines, which is actually genuinely very funny and well done. In a change from the original, The Nightman Cometh begins with a new original song called, of course,
I got a troll in my hole.
That's right.
My hole of an apartment.
It's genuinely better instrumentally than any of the songs in the original episode. And it sounds like it could be on like Tommy or some other rock opera. Dennis sounds great, and I'm glad Glenn is getting to flex those Juilliard vocals. Danny's also really good in this. That was a surprise. I was like, wait a minute, he's kind of going toe-to-toe with Dennis, or who's giving the best performance. And only after that, which is about the troll's control of the boy, do we get Even if they didn't mean to, this gives the musical a bit more structure, establishing his bad circumstances and painting the princess who works at the coffee shop as a sort of escape from that. Caitlin and Glenn's performances are very fun in this number, and I'm happy to see them clearly having so much fun, whereas in the original they seem a little miserable on stage. The singing does get a bit off key at some points, sorry Caitlin. At the very least, at the end it does come together. Then Dee's Just to Be Clear song happens, and it's mostly the same, with the exception of a different word here or there, and an inclusion of a line about being the most experienced actress in the show. Very Dee, very in character. There was also a lot of applause at the 8 or 9 out of 10 line.
Most men find me to be an 8 or 9 out of 10.
because like she's gorgeous, of course. Now finally, here comes the Nightman. Also, he appears to not have contacts. I'm sure there's a good reason for that, but instead he has eyeshadow on his eyes, so he needs to have his eyes closed in order for the makeup to show up. It makes it uncanny, and that's not very safe for him on stage. But again, maybe they irritated his eyes, maybe they were hard to take in and out. I understand. Also, Danny DeVito rings it with his singing, even more than the original.
You gotta pay the troll toll. You get in this boy's hole. You gotta pay the troll toll to get in. If you want this baby boy's hole, you gotta pay the troll toll. You gotta pay the troll toll to get in.
And so does Mac. But Dennis, again, surprise, blew his what you say line. Like, what are you doing? So close. That was one of the best parts of the original song, dude. Also, Mac's karate across the stage is very funny. And he's just generally doing a very good job. He was a bit of a sleeper for me. He started off a little more chill, but then now he's like full theater kid commitment. So after the Nightman scene ends, he becomes the boy. I literally gasped when Mac came out of the darkness and starts yapping in a song about how he's not really a bad guy. He sings a song called It's Nature. And why is he nailing it? It's like a typical show tune and it's super dumb and doesn't really go anywhere. And it's not amazing, but like Rob is commanding that stage, dude.
Some people are born skinny. Some people are born fat. Some people are born evil with the eyes of a cat. Yeah! It's nature.
And after this, we go back to Dennis. And his delivery of this delightful little speech is so funny to me.
Well, here I am again. Alone in my lonely room. It's the next night. It's not the same night as what you just saw. That was... There was a whole day that happened, but you didn't see that day.
The boy actually mentions the Nightman. The troll, I feel like, has more focus than the Nightman on the original. So it's good to hear him talk about his feelings about that. The boy sings a song, which is almost exactly taken from this scene in the show.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Nightman, sneaky and mean, spider inside my dreams. I think I love you. You make me wanna cry. You make me wanna die. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you, Nightman.
And then halfway through the song, Mac comes in with a frickin' ribbon. Dennis hits this insane riff. Where were these chops all along? I had such a blast watching this in general. After this, the boy suddenly decides to kill the Nightman. Then all of a sudden, he's back in the custody of the troll. And the whole shooting the troll thing happens. And he becomes the Dayman, yay! And the amount of emphasis put on Dennis slightly unzipping the jumpsuit is very funny. Also, Dennis making the gun sound effects with his mouth, but then going click click as if he has no control. The amount of imaginary bullets he has in his gun is also very funny. I also appreciate when the Nightman comes, the extended, silly nature of the confrontation, because it gave us this.
Where's the boy?
Boy's gone.
The new and improved instrumentals under Dennis saying,
I'm the Dayman.
and like genuinely has gravitas. That's what happens when you have someone making good arrangement. That's the power of theater. The fight choreo is nearly exact in the episode, but then also add a lot of like little jokes. Dee then comes back out again for the first time since her introduction. Still a big flaw in the show. They should have fixed that, honestly. And the boy and the princess have a brief interlude, which is a good addition, not only because it serves the story, but it's also very funny because Dennis clearly was in no way ready for it to begin.
And guess what? I'm in love with you. I am the light and darkness, master of word and song.
You are the teacher of bird and man, a winner of contests near and far.
I think it has interesting musical ideas. I'm a little bummed it got done away with. The addition of drums and electric guitar was really cool, and the audience singing along to Dayman was a really fun way to end the show. The play, that is. There's still more to come, because then comes Charlie's iconic Marry Me song, which I actually have a cover of here on this channel. This song, like the others, has more instrumentation, but also a slower pace, which was probably easier on Charlie Day's voice. Then he reprises the final verse again in a jazzy style and starts playing the harmonica, which genuinely took me by surprise and was a total treat. And then at the end, he pulls out another trick from his hat. He just hits this insane high note and then just keeps holding it out. So I actually ended up being happy with what they did with the song. And what really stuck the landing for me is that they still kept Charlie's weird, awkward yawn note. That's such a funny choice. I always assumed it was improvised. Also, the waitress being in the audience is a really cool choice as well. And she once again nails it. She gets booed for saying no to Charlie, which, by the way, I understand he's the leader of the show, but as a Survivor reviews, I do find it a little troubling that there was a whole group of people booing for turning down the man who violently stalked her for years. He's the villain, guys. Then the characters do the same awkward bow that they do at the end of the episode, and the show ends. Then they come back out for some real bows, where we see them drop character and just show how much fun they're having, which is a delight, and they have a little sing-along with the audience. What a fun time this was. So what do I think of the Nightman Cometh live? Simply, I wish I was there. I wish I wasn't 6 years old when this happened. This is an incredible time capsule of It's Always Sunny at its prime. I think the added songs, sure, wouldn't really have a place in an actual musical, and especially Mac's song goes absolutely nowhere. It's very one note, but for its purposes, it is so much fun. I could confidently say that the added dialogue was a miss, but overall, this is excellent supplementary material. Check it out to get something new in your life. Thank you so much to everyone who's been sticking around to this point. I am so grateful for you all. Now, if you could go ahead and like the video, comment what you think, and subscribe for more, I would love to see you back here again. And go check out some of my old videos where I rank and review the entirety of season 17, and boy, it was a surprise. I've also already begun a season 16 retrospective if you want to follow me on that journey for the next couple weeks. Also, I would like to give a shout out to my incredible channel members, the amazing Andrew Fiore, my boyfriend, and Donovan Boyle. Thank you so much for being my most loyal supporters for only 99 cents a month. That's right. And if you choose to become a channel member as well, you can have these exclusive super cute emojis, know that you're supporting me, and get a shout out at the end of every single one of my videos. All right, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and may God bless you. Mwah.